Thank you for joining me for this video. Hope you all have a fantastic day so far. One thing this morning, every time you make a mistake, you correct yourself and you want to make newer mistakes. And that's the way you learn anything on this planet. Welcome back to this channel, and those who have been in this channel for a long time might know that I've created a playlist. In that playlist, I've uploaded so many topics briefly but clearly. So practice every day pretty much. And coming back to today's topic, that is on chi-square test of independence of attributes. So here I have already explained from example 1 to 5, and in this video I'm going to explain from example 6. From the following data, find whether there is a significant liking in the habits of taking soft drinks among the categories of employees. So here are the employees. So here are the types of the soft drinks: Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Fanta, and types of employees: clerks, teachers, officers. So this is also very important. Please note, as usual, we have to take 5 steps. First one is null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, test statistics, level of signification, and conclusion. See here, every time we have to make a total out of this. So these are all the soft drinks. So Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Fanta, and this is the total we have to make. That is 10 plus 15 plus 50 is 75. And the next one is 25. 30 plus 60 is 115, and 65 plus 65 plus 30 is 160. So this is the column total, and this is the row total here. That is 10 plus 25 plus 65 is 100, 15 plus 30 plus 65 is 110, and 50 plus 60 plus 30 is 140. And this will be the grand total. See? So this is the data I have taken, that is 10, 25, 65. See here, 10, 25, 65, 15, 30, 65, and the next one is 50, 60, and 30. So this will be the column total, and this will be the row total, and this will be the grand total. So for finding the expected frequency, here is the formula, that is column total into row total by divided by the grand total. See for this, so here the column total is 75, row total is 100 divided by 350. 75 into 100 by 350 is 21.4. And the next one for this one, so we have to go with the column total, that is 115, and row total here is 100 divided by 350, that is 32.9. And the next one for this one, the column total is 160 into 100 divided by 350, the value here is 45.71. For this also, for this Thumbs Up, for 15 also we have to take the column total, that is 75, and the row total is 110 divided by 350. That is 75 into 110 by 350, that is 23.6. And for this position also, this is 115 into 110 divided by 350. The value here is 36.1. And here for 65, this is the column total, 160 into 110 divided by 350. The value here is 50.3. And for this one, 75 into 140 divided by 350, the value here is 30. So for this position, 115 into 140 divided by 350, the value here is 46. This is 160 into 140 divided by 350, the value here is 64. So these are all the expected frequencies, and these are all the observed frequencies. Now we are going to find out the value of chi-square. So here the observed values are from the table, that is 10, 25, 65, 15, 30, 65, 50, 60, 30. So we have to place it in the first column, and this will be the observed values. And here are the expected frequencies, that is 21.4, 32.9, 45.71, 23.6, 36.1, 50.3, 30, 46, and 64. So we have to place it in the second column. So these are all the expected frequencies. And now we have to make a difference here. So that is 10 minus 21.4. So after making a subtraction, make it a square, and this will be 129.96. Use your calci. And 25 minus 32.9 whole square. Whole square is 62.41, and 65 minus 45.71 whole square is 372.49. Like that, we have to make a subtraction, and again we have to make a square, and this will be 73.96. 30 minus 36.1 whole square, that is 37.21. Like that we have to fill this column, and this will be the column here. And the next one is we have to make a division here, that is OI minus EI by EI whole square, that is 129.96 by 21.4. The value here is 6.073, and 62.41 divided by 32.9 is 1.897, and 372.49 divided by 45.71 is 8.151. Like that we have to fill this column, and this will be the grand total. So the total is nothing but sigma OI minus EI whole square by EI. So here for calculating the chi-square value, so this is the formula here, that is a sigma OI minus EI whole square by EI value is equal to 60.2425. See here, this value is equal to 60.2425. So this is the textbook values. These are all the textbook values. So we got the calculated value of chi-square as a 60.2425. And next one, we have to go with the tabular value. So here, for degrees of freedom, the number of rows minus 1 into number of columns minus 1. So here from the table, how many rows are there? See, 1, 2, 3 rows are there. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3. So here, number of rows minus 1 into number of columns minus 1. 3 minus 1 into 3 minus 1. So which is equal to 4. So here at 4 at 5% level of significance. So this is the table. And see here, we for degrees of freedom 4, and at 5% level of significance at 0.05, that is 9.488 is the tabular value. So we got 9.488 from the table, and this is the calculated value. This is 60.2425, and here we can observe that the calculated value is greater than the tabular value, and therefore if it is greater, we are going to reject the null hypothesis H0. And then what will be the conclusion here? Then we conclude that the habits of taking soft drinks depends upon the category of the employees, and this is how we have to calculate. So first of all, we have to take this table. So this is the question here. We have to make a row total, and we have to make it column total. So after making all the column totals and the row totals, and we have to make a grand total here, and this is the frequency table here. So this is also very easy. Row total into column total by grand total. For each and every data we have to take a row total into column total divided by the grand total. So all the values are ready here, and this will be the table here. These are all the observed values, these are all the expected values, and OI minus EI whole square, OI minus EI by whole square by EI, and this will be the chi-square value. And therefore from the table we have to check, and this will be, so this is the tabular value. So at 4 we got 9.488, and this value is 60.2424, and clearly the calculated value is greater than the tabular value. We reject the hypothesis, and this is the conclusion part. And the next one, going to 7th example here, it is also very easy. In an investigation on a machine performance, the following results are obtained: the number of units inspected and the number of defectives. And this is machine 1 and machine 2. So this is the data given, that is 375, 17, 450 and 22. And next we have to test whether there is any significant performance of the two machines at alpha is equal to 0.05, or can we conclude that the both machines are equally effective at 0.05 level of significance. So this is also very important. So repeatedly asked question, as usual we have to go with 5 statements. The first one is the null hypothesis. There is a significant performance of the two machines. Alternate hypothesis. There is no significant performance. And level of significance 0.05, and this is the computation. See here, every time, see here, this is 375 and 17. So we have to make a row total here, that is 395, and 450 plus 22, this is 472, and this is the column total 825, and this is the column total 39, and this will be the grand total. The grand total is 864 is the grand total. See, and now if you observe this one, after making the row totals and the column totals here, so these are the row totals and these are the column totals for machine 1 and machine 2. And here we have to go with the expected frequencies. For calculating the expected frequency, the formula here is the column total into row total divided by the grand total. So 825 into 392 divided by 864, the value here is 374.3. And for this position we have to go with Column total, that is 39, into row total 392 divided by grand total 864. The value here is 17.69. And next one for this position also, so we have to multiply the column total 825 into column total row total, that is 472 divided by 864. The value here is 450.69. And this one, column total 39 into 472 divided by 864. The value here is 21.3. So these are all the expected frequencies. And now for calculating the chi-square value, here is the table, the observed values, expected values, OI minus EI whole square, OI minus EI whole square by EA. So these are all the four values from the data given, that is 375, 17, 450, 22. So these are all the observed values here, and the expected values just now we have calculated, that is 374.3, 17.69, 450.69 and 21.3. These are all the values we have to place it in the second column. And next thing here is we have to make a subtraction, OI minus EI. 375 minus 374.3 whole square. So after making subtraction, we have to make a square, that will be 0.49. 17 minus 17.69 whole square. The value here is 0.4761. Use your calci. And 450 minus 450 minus 669 whole square is 0.4761, and 22 minus 21.3 whole square is 0.49. And here this column is so important, that is 0.49 divided by expected value, that is 374.3. The value here is 0.00131, and 0.4761 divided by 17.69 is 0.0269, and 0.4761 divided by 450.69, the value here is 0.0011, and 0.49 divided by 21.3, the value here is 0.023. And here for this, the grand total here is 0.05231. And see here for chi-square, sigma OI minus EA whole square by EA, the value here is 0.0523. And this is the way we have to calculate the chi value. See here from the textbook we got 0.05231, and therefore this is the value, that is chi-square value is equal to sigma OI minus EA whole square by EA is this one. And now we have to go with degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is nothing but the number of rows minus 1 into number of columns minus 1. So here in the question we have how many rows here? 2 rows, 1 and 2. How many columns are there? 1, 2 columns are there. So here 2 minus 1 into 2 minus 1, that is 1 into 1. So we have 1 degrees of freedom at 5% level of significance. So this is the tabular value at 1, at 0.05, that is 3.841 is the tabular value, that is 3.84. And therefore here is the calculated value. Here strictly the calculated value is less than the tabular value, and therefore if it is less than, we are going to accept the null hypothesis H0. And therefore the conclusion here is there is a significant performance of two machines. So this is how we have to take. So first of all we have to get a calculated value, and we have to observe the tabular value. If the calculated value is less than the tabular value, we are going to accept the null hypothesis. And here is the conclusion that there is a significant performance of two machines. And here is the 8th question here. 1,000 students at college level were graduated according to their IQ and the economic conditions of their home. Use chi-square test to find out whether there is any association between the conditions at home where home and IQ and alpha is equal to 0.05 level of significance. So here observe that this is also very, very important. If there is a title, please remember that it will repeat. And here are the economic conditions rich, poor, and here are the economic conditions high and low. So these are high and low, and these are rich and poor. And now we have to make the totals for column as well as row. That is 460 plus 140 is 600, and 240 plus 160 is 400. And here column total 460 plus 240 is 700, 140 plus 160 is 300, and this is the grand total 1000. And here in the solution here, so we have to set up the null hypothesis. First one null hypothesis here is there is an association between the conditions at home and IQ. For null alternate hypothesis, there is no association between the conditions at home and IQ. And the next one here is the table. Here are the economic conditions, that is high, low, and these are economic conditions rich and poor, and these are the economic conditions, that is high and low. See here, this is the row total, that is 460 plus 140 is 600, 240 plus 160 is 400, and this is the column total, that is 700, this is the 300, and this is a grand total, 1000 is the grand total. For finding the expected frequencies, every time we have a formula, that is column total into row total by grand total. For this, so go with the column total, that is 700, that is row total 600 divided by 1000. 700 into 600 by 1000, the value here is 420. And for this position also, go with the column total 300, row total 600 divided by the grand total 1000. 300 into 600 by 1000 is 180. And for this 240 also, here 700 into 400 divided by 1000, the value here is 280. And for 160 also, this is 300 into 400 divided by 1000, the value here is 120. So here the 1 2 3 4 are the observed values, and here 1 2 3 4 are the expected values. For the calculation of chi-square, observed values, expected values, oi minus ea whole square, oi minus ea whole square divided by EI. So here 460, 140, 240, 160 should be placed in the first column, and the expected values 420, 180, 280 and 120 are placed in the second column. Now we have to make a subtraction and make a square out of it. That is 460 minus 420 whole square, that is 1600, and 140 minus 180 whole square is 1600, and 240 minus 280 whole square, that is 1600, and 160 minus 140 whole square is 1600. Now here oi minus ei whole square by ei. So this is ei. 1600 divided by 420 is 3.809. 1600 divided by 180 is 8.880, and 1600 divided by 280 is 5.714, and 1600 divided by 120 is 13.33, and here is the grand total, that is 31.733. And chi-square value is equal to sigma oi minus ea whole square by ea. We got the value as 31.33. And see here, so this is the textbook value, that is 31.33. It is the chi-square value, that is sigma oi minus ea whole square by ei. Now coming to degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is nothing but number of rows minus 1 into number of columns minus 1. So here if you observe properly, how many rows are there here? 1, 2. How many columns are there? 1, 2. So here 2 columns and 2 rows, that is 2 minus 1 into 2 minus 1, the value here is 1. And therefore I'll show you the table of chi-square table, that is here is 1, and 0.05 level, that is 3.841. So here 3.84 is the degrees of freedom at alpha is equal to 0.05, and therefore when you observe these two clearly, this is the calculated value and this is the tabular value. Clearly the calculated value is greater than the tabular value, and therefore we are going to reject the null hypothesis, and therefore there is no association between the conditions. So here is a conclusion that there is no association between the conditions at home and IQ. So these are all the questions which I have straightly explained from the textbook itself, and I have shown you the calculated values, and I have shown you the formulas also, and here 6, 7, 8 are vividly explained in this video. Hope if you like this video, if you understand this video, please practice. Definitely you can score more, and please pass it on to as many friends as you can. That is the greatest help needed to this channel. And thank you for seeing, and my next topic will be on chi-square test for population variance, and that will be the last topic in this chapter. And hopefully these videos will be very, very helpful for your preparation, even though while you're traveling, while you're in some other places where you are very far from the books, you can just click away, there will be solutions. Thank you so much. You can avail this opportunity. Thank you.